I'm here with Alasdair. Alasdair, great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We met last year in September.
We certainly did, yeah.
Then you did the crash course and different things like that. And now you're a deal sourcer.
Yep.
And the purpose of this video is to talk about how to be a successful deal sourcer, how to be compliant, and just generally mindset and tips for success.
Okay, so you're right, we did meet in September last year at the crash course.
Yeah.
I did do some further training, all about finding deals, etc., etc. I then went on to do some zlipping, which is your term for packaging and selling deals. And after a few months of doing that through your company, I went on and started my own company with yourself. And yeah, it's been an awesome journey.
So you're financially free now?
Yes.
Your wife is financially free?
Yeah.
You made, how much money did you make in the last month?
In the last month through deal sourcing, now my property's made just under £27,000.
£27,000 in a month, which is not bad.
I think it's really good.
You're sourcing lease option agreements, you're sourcing rent to rent, below market value, HMOs. What is the number one tip or secret to being such a successful deal sourcer?
I think you've just got to put yourself in the game. So if you're going out looking to become a deal sourcer, you need to get out there looking at houses. You're not going to find them sitting behind a computer looking at Rightmove. You need to actually physically get out. One
of the things that you're really passionate about is it really angers you to see people selling deals when no one's seen the house. They've just relied on what the vendor or an estate agent has said. You're really passionate about viewing the houses.
One thing I don't agree with is you see it advertised all over social media, things like that. People just find Rightmove links and they just ping them out as deals. They've not actually viewed the houses. They're possibly not even compliant sourcers. And I'm very passionate about being a compliant sourcer because I personally wouldn't give my money to somebody if they weren't compliant because you've got no recourse.
Yes, exactly. So what is it to be compliant then?
Compliance is actually, it's not difficult, it's quite straightforward. You need sort of four things. So you need insurance, professional indemnity insurance, that also covers your vehicle because you're going to be using your vehicle to loot properties. You need to be part of one of the property redress schemes, so it's the property ombudsman, the property redress scheme, or the ombudsman services scheme. I'm personally with the property ombudsman because I think they're the best and most well known. For that, you'll have to upload your insurance certificate. And then you've also got a data protection license, which is about £40, and an anti-money laundering certificate.
So it sounds like quite a lot of stuff, but you're saying it's relatively straightforward.
It'll take you a morning's work to get everything in place. It'll cost you between £1,200 and £1,500.
Which is going to be more than paid for in your first deal.
One deal will cover it.
So where do you find the deals then that you're passing on?
I find the deals on various online estate agents, direct to vendor. I send out a lot of information and letters directly to the vendors and they get information from that. Also other sites which aren't the more common sites for looking at houses that are so not really Rightmove, like Gumtree. There's always deals to be found in Gumtree. And also if I see like a couple of for sale signs up, like more than one typically, I'll go and put a letter through the door or I'll put a business card through the door.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really love about your strategy is to just meet people, view houses, talk to people, because you find so many deals just by networking.
When I am looking at deals, I'm always listening. So I'm not there to tell the vendor my story. I want to listen to their story. And I find a lot of my deals have come from just listening. So like my lease options have come by listening to vendors that were trying to sell their houses. I went out to look at a rent-to-rent property, and that ended up being a lease option because it suited the vendor a lot better than a rent-to-rent because he wants to sell it when he's 75. He's now 69. So we hashed out together a lease option. He's getting a fantastic deal. I'm getting a good deal, and it's a great deal.
So your lease option agreements, you had to pay the solicitor fees.
Yep.
Which is about £700-800.
Yeah, it's about £1,000 with the VAT.
With the VAT, okay. Yeah. How much more money did you have to put in? Deposit and things like that?
I've got one in Wolverhampton, and that's going to cost. No, that's about it. About £1,000, and then a little bit of refurbishment. So maybe £2,000 for refurbishment.
Sure.
So I would say £3,000 all in, and then I'm leasing the furniture. I'm not buying it.
So £3,000 all in.
Yeah.
No deposit.
No deposit.
No fee to the landlord.
No.
And from that £3,000 that you're putting in, that's going to mean that you have an option to buy the house in how many years?
5 years' time.
In 5 years' time for presumably a good price.
Yeah, it's more than it's worth at the minute. The vendor's happy with it. Doing it as the vendor was going to rent it out anyway for the next 5 years, and he was going to be making, I would say 20k over the next 5 years. The deal we've done, because the profit in it, he's going to be getting about an extra £25,000 over 5 years.
Great, so he's happy.
He's over the moon.
How are you making profit from that then?
Because I'm letting, it's already a student accommodation, so he wasn't doing it properly. He just basically had three or four students just letting it, and they were paying like £600 a month for the whole house. I'm now going to do it correctly. I'm going to use Quick Move to manage the property, who are advising me correctly about it. We're going to do it as a 4-bed multi-let. It's already got fire doors, it's already got fire alarm system. It just needs a little bit of paint and some carpets.
And that area, I personally have got a lot of HMOs, and I know that it's going to rent out really well.
It's in a nice area.
Yeah, and you know the area really well. You've done your research. How much profit are you going to be making each month then?
£750 to £800, but I'm conservative. I want more, but I'm happy if I can get.
So you're going to put £3,000 in.
Yeah.
You're going to make about £800 a month profit.
Yeah.
And then in 5 years' time, you've got the option to buy, not the obligation.
Yeah.
So you can walk away.
Yeah.
But you're going to have the option to buy it at how much?
125.
125, which is not. It's probably going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
My prediction, I think, with Wolverhampton, if Wolverhampton continues going up the way it is, you'll have an absolute bargain then. And that's just one of your lease option agreements, but you have got others.
I've got another one, yeah.
And also some in the pipeline.
I've got 3 in the pipeline at the minute.
Incredible. How do you find lease option agreement deals?
By listening to vendors.
Yeah.
That honestly, I can't reiterate that enough. I go out, I look at houses, and I listen to vendors, because most vendors have a story to why they're selling their house. And if you can make the deal better for them, it's not about me being a greedy investor. It's not about me trying to steal their properties. It's about me being helpful and trying to make it so they make more money. If they can make more money and they can get a deal that suits them, then why wouldn't they do it?
One of the things I love about you is, I mean, you've been through the training with myself, and you just do exactly what I say to the T.
I'm a massive implementer, so basically, if I learn a strategy, I'm out Monday morning doing that strategy.
Yeah.
I don't read about it for 3 weeks. I'm out doing it. So we learned about rent to rents on a 2-day course. I think it was Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
I had Sunday at home with the wife, and then Monday morning I was on my way to Oxford to look at 3 rent to rents.
That's incredible.
They didn't come off, unfortunately, but good experience, and then I've got more that have led on from that. So it's good.
That's brilliant. And all of your training has been through my company.
It's all been through the academy.
What would you say to somebody that said, I'm not going to pay you to source me a property? You've only been in the game 6 months. What do you know?
Okay. What I know is my experience. I've looked at over 100 houses in the last 6 months. So if you're not looking at houses, you'll gain more experience by looking at houses than you will reading any book. Yeah. You start looking and you start getting on the road and start implementing, you'll gain so much more experience so much faster than people that just sit looking and Rightmove.
Also, although you've only got 6 months experience, sometimes people say they've got 20 years experience, but really they've got 1 year's experience, photographed 20 times.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you have only been in the game 6 months, but you've done so much, and you've paid a lot of money to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
So actually, you haven't got years and years in the industry, but you've certainly got enough experience to find a good deal.
Listen, I've got 6 to 8 months in the property industry, but I've got 10 years in business.
Yes.
And Samuel's very right about what he says. I had a business and I started it and I just copied it for 7 years. And it was good, it provided me a living, but it didn't ever make me super successful.
Yeah.
I've learned more in the last 6 months than I learned in the last 7 years. And that's why I can find properties, and that's why I've got investors not falling at my feet, but I've got investors coming on board every day.
They are falling at your feet. You've got a whole queue. I was at the Circle. You run the Property Investor Circle?
Yeah, I started running the Property Investor Circle.
How did it go last night?
It was awesome.
You had how many? About
fantastic.
About 60 people in the room.
Yeah.
And it was because I push people, right?
Yeah. Well,
so the thing I'm pushing you, go on.
So the pick meeting was my stepping out my comfort zone. I've never been that much of a confident person. So stepping out my comfort zone, which is what Samuel tells me and pushes me every single time I meet him. Sometimes I hate it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm really uncomfortable, but do you know what? I'm not growing. I would rather be uncomfortable and grow than comfortable and boring.
That's incredible.
So I would just tell everybody, do you know what? You might tell you to do some stupid stuff, just do it.
And I hope you don't mind me saying, but the first time I had you introduce me on stage wasn't that great.
No, it sucked.
Your mind went blank.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only supposed to be on stage for a minute or two, but it was really tough.
Yeah.
But then after a little bit of practice, a little bit of coaching, and watching other people do it, you absolutely killed it the second time you did it. And the circle that you ran last night, 60 investors in the room.
Yeah.
I'm at the back of the room. I don't say a word, but you had complete control over the room.
That means a lot because yes, you're right. The first time I introduced you sucked.
It did, and I told you it sucked.
Yeah,
I told you it sucked.
No, you're very honest. Yeah, I did hear you and Russell laughing in the corridors when I was doing it, but that's good. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be told that it sucked because then I can learn from it.
And then when we tell you it's good, you know that we're telling the complete truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you killed it yesterday, and the feedback has been incredible.
Yeah.
You hosted it really well, facilitated it really well. We had people doing networking sessions, people doing business, people finding deals, people getting mortgages set up from Kevin. It was absolutely incredible. So what are your plans now? You coming out to Africa with me on Monday?
Yeah, Monday morning. I'm flying out to Africa.
Because one of the you say it just so light, as if it's one of the things you do every month. You know, I'm off to Africa on Monday. Cool. What does your wife think about that?
My wife was actually really looking forward to coming, but with childcare issues, it's a bit difficult. But she's going to come out next year. I'm definitely coming back next year.
Yeah, it's not that you're both financially free now.
It's just childcare costs, childcare issues, not costs. But we don't want to leave my daughter for 2 weeks.
That's understandable.
We're a small family.
Because we're going out to Africa on Monday. Because I think it's really important when you start making money that you very, very quickly get into the habit of being able to give.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that attracted you about.
Do you know? I remember at the crash course, September last year, we watched that video of what you do in Africa, and that little boy not having to have any more food. I mean, that every time I think about it, that I have to stop talking because it pulls at my heartstrings.
But that same little boy in the video has now got clean drinking water with a well.
Thanks to you.
You're going to meet him next week.
Oh, am I?
You are. Yeah, you'll meet him next week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we're sending him to a private school.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That little boy.
Who I can't wait to meet him.
Who I met for the first time in April last year. So
that's really good.
Yeah, and I just think it's really important not only to personally for myself to give back and help people and make a difference where you can, but also to encourage my students to do it.
Yeah,
and in fact, certainly the advanced students, I'll even say, you know, I'm not going to teach you anything unless you're going to be prepared to give.
I don't mind giving. I honestly don't, because there's got to be a bigger reason in your life to just earning money. You've got to be able to do something. It's all right having all this money, but what you got to do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't take it when you die. I know you can pass it on to your children, you can build all these houses, but there's people in the world that have nothing. And for me, a big reason for me coming to Africa is I want to find a bigger purpose to my life than just making money and just looking after my immediate family. So
you know what? I think it's going to change your life, because I think it's Jim Rohn who says looking after yourself is okay.
Yeah.
Looking after yourself and your wife, that's good.
Yeah.
Looking after yourself, your wife and your family is brilliant.
Yeah.
But what is absolutely extraordinary is when you can then go even far greater than that, and you can look after your immediate family, but then also go further than that. So that's great. We're taking a whole team out. We've got a bunch coming out from the academy.
Yeah, Florin.
Yeah. Who's doing deals as well, making good money.
Well, they're all coming out because they're doing deals.
Yeah.
It's like a reward that Samuel offers. Like, we do deals, Samuel helps us with. He invites us to these events. So you've got Stuart Brown's coming out, Florin, Anne Mather,
and John
Raybould.
And we're obviously taking out some of the staff. Nick's come in, Russell's coming,
and I'm looking forward to doing this bungee jump. But I hear the bridge is broken.
That's right. Yeah, I was so gutted about that. I think I'm the only person that's gutted.
I know, I'm gutted. I am absolutely.
Oh yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. Because I know that Stuart and John were going to do it, but they were pooing themselves.
They only told me they were going to do it after we found out the bridge was broken.
Oh yeah. So. No, we'll probably do some water rafting instead. Something fun and adrenaline sports. We're going to go down to the villages, business workshops for the entrepreneurs. Then we're heading to where?
Oh, South Africa, Johannesburg, to meet Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, dinner with Robert Kiyosaki.
So he's got a 2-day Wealth Summit conference, 2 days. So obviously we're going to that. We're going to be having dinner with him on one of the evenings. Yeah. It's going to be a great little event. Yeah. Great opportunity to have a couple of minutes with him, just say hi, tell him what we're doing,
and get a photo,
get a photograph. And just, meet one of the best investors in the world. Yeah. He's like the pinnacle of our industry, so why not?
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
He is.
Can't wait to meet the guy.
And he's a real inspiration, Robert Kiyosaki, for thousands and thousands of people.
Robert Kiyosaki was actually the guy. I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, and then that led me on to Samuel Leeds Buy Low Rent High book.
Wow, a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Stuart's the same.
Yeah.
Stuart was on the beach in Greece, reading Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then he was reading my book. And he'd never met me, And then he said if he'd have known that within a year he'd be having dinner with both me and Robert Kiyosaki, he'd have pinched himself.
Same as. If I'd known in January of this year that I would be in July sitting here with Samuel and meeting Robert Kiyosaki, it's awesome. Yeah. It's like now, me and Samuel are really good friends. And like 6 months ago, I have to pinch myself sometimes that we are good friends. And that we've got, like we're going to meet Robert Kiyosaki, we're doing all these deals. And 6 months ago has changed my life. It's completely different.
And last weekend, we were having dinner with Sylvester Stallone.
100%, yeah, it's awesome.
And you got a picture to prove it.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
The man himself, Rocky Balboa. It was his birthday.
Yeah, rubbing shoulders with celebrities. 6 months ago, I would never have listened to anyone that said, yeah, you're going to be doing all this.
So you went on the crash course in September and you started implementing stuff. And you said that by the time you came to the advanced training in January, from September to January, you paid for the advanced training up front. Yeah. And then by January, you'd already paid for the training as a result of what you'd learned on the crash course.
Yeah, so on the crash course, I think it's day 2, Samuel teaches you all about simplifying your finances, about having 6 bank accounts.
Money management,
all that sort of stuff. And I actually implemented it. So on the way home, on I opened my 6 bank accounts. Yeah. Done it with NatWest. You can do it very easily online. And I started doing the savings side of things. But more importantly for me was I actually simplified my accounts. I went on and I just essentially just cancelled everything I didn't recognise. And do you know what? Not many people spoke to me. Not many people rung me to say, do you know why you cancelled it?
That little piece alone, I probably spend like half an hour on that. And I've got to credit T.R. Vecker and also, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who wrote The Richest Man in Babylon for that piece. I think I do at the crash course, but as you referenced it now.
It's a great theory because I saved... Me and Lisa, we had spending habits. Like we were spending money like just going out for dinner when you didn't need to, like memberships of a gym. I mean, I don't go to the gym, do you know what I mean? But memberships of gym.
Why did you decide? Because when you came in January, I remember you said to me, "I've already paid for this training off the back of what we learned on the crash course," and I was like, "High five!" And I think I got a little video of you there and then saying that. Why did you decide to go down the route of lease option agreements, rent to rent, deal sourcing, as opposed to other strategies?
When I started doing the academy and doing the further training, I wasn't loaded. I didn't have loads of money. I had £3,000 to £4,000 in the bank. I don't know if you guys know, you cannot buy a house with £3,000 to £4,000 conventionally. So you have to be a bit more creative. So that's why I originally started doing zlipping or deal sourcing, just to get a little bit of cash coming back in to pay for my investment in the training. I'd done that very quickly, and then I decided to start my own sourcing company, and I liked the idea of lease options, just because I didn't have that massive pot of money. I'm very careful about lease options because I don't want to be ripping anybody off. I want it done properly. It's got to be good for everybody. There is some charlatans out there that will take advantage of lease options. I'm not one of them. And I suggest everyone that's listening to this does it properly and does it correctly.
Because I know the way I teach lease option agreements, there's a process before you go in for the deal. Yeah. Did you find it difficult to go through that process? Did you find would it have been easy to try and cut corners?
Yeah, if you it's very easy as a new investor to like just want to jump in and say, I've got this great offer for you, do you want to do it? But no, you have to restrain, you have to exhaust the options, you have to just ensure that you're not pulling the wool over these people's eyes, because it's their property at the end of the day, and they could be my parents, and I would be gutted if somebody done that to my parents if they didn't look after them properly. So I made sure that I looked after them. I made sure they were very, very clear. We had lots of phone calls, lots of time with the solicitor, where they were speaking to the solicitor that we recommend, and just to make sure that everything, they were 100% happy and that they knew what they were getting into. Now I'm in regular contact with both my vendors. I speak to them a lot. Paul's just texted me this morning to tell me that he wants to come and pick up a chair that he left in the house, and it's great. Do you know what I mean? We're getting on really well. We're not. It's not like you're a rich investor and you're trying to take my house. We're doing it as a mutual sort of business arrangement.
That's brilliant. And also, everyone wants different things. So sometimes a motivated seller might just not want the stress or the emotional attachment of the house anymore for whatever reason.
Well, that was exactly with Paul. Paul, he's come to an age where he doesn't really want to be managing property. He manages it himself. He wasn't getting the maximum out of the property. He was only getting like £600 a month for a 4-bed multi-let, which is not really great. I've come along. I'm renovating the property. I'm maximising it. I'm making as much sort of out of it as we can get. And he's getting an amount that was very similar to what he was getting before I took it on. But I'm guaranteeing to buy it off him.
Have you had any issues with, I mean, because you've had a complete life transformation in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Going from working full time, your wife working, regular jobs, to now suddenly meeting all these celebrities, financially free, making £27,000 in a month.
Yeah.
What's been the repercussions from your family, your friends? How have they dealt with that?
Family's generally really supportive. They don't understand it, but that's fine. I get that. My parents have had a bombshell dropped on them recently about what I'm doing, so they're fine with that. You will lose friends over this, but do you know what? They were never your true friends if they don't support you.
Yeah.
I've lost a couple of friends over it, but
I always say to my students, you know, if you're successful and you start making good money, you're going to have people that are going to fall out of you. Some people are going to be jealous. Some people are just not going to understand it. They're going to think that, you're going to change now, or you're suddenly going to become really arrogant. And then their defense to that will be to start treating you differently.
One of my friends said to me, he just doesn't get why I'm doing it. And I said, you don't need to get it. It's not your dream. It's my dream. Yeah. All you need to do is support me and just be there. If I've got a problem, just be there. Yeah. He still doesn't get it. Do you know what? That's his problem. It's not my problem.
Why are you doing it?
Because why am I doing it? Because I think there's more to life than working 9 to 5. I want to spend a lot more time with my family. I want to be able to not worry about my family's financial future. I want to know that if I want to take a month off to spend it with my family because my wife's missing me a little bit, I can. I don't have to worry about it. And there's more to life. It's not just about the money. I keep saying that. Money's great. Don't get me wrong. Money's fantastic. But you've got to be able to do something with it. What's the point in having all this money in your bank if you've got nobody to spend it with, or if you've got no people to give back to? So one of the reasons I'm so happy to come to Africa is I want to give something back. I want to. I'm not saying I'm going to be out there building water wells at the minute, but if I can give just a little bit for the time being, it will grow and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, brilliant. Love that. Have you done any other property training prior to my training?
No, I read a few books. I did go to a couple of sort of like 1 day sort of events. I'm not going to mention who they were, but I did do a few 1 day sort of events.
How are they compared with the crash course?
I didn't like them. I found them from the minute you walked in the door. They were trying to sort of sell you their next program. They were trying to do that, and I didn't find very much value in it. I thought what they would do is they would say this is one strategy, and just as you were getting interested, they would move on to the next strategy. So you never actually got a complete front to end strategy. You always got here's a little bit, but if you really want to know,
you need to pay.
Yeah.
What's the crash course like?
The crash course is 2 days of like just awesome value, awesome content. Like you're not just sitting there. You're not in a stuffy room listening to you're not in a stuffy room listening to or watching slideshows and listening to boring speakers. You've got Samuel on stage who's like buzzing of energy as it is. You've got lots of people in the room that are all keen to be there. We're doing lots of deals. We're doing lots of phoning estate agents. When you're not just sitting there getting bored, there's lots and lots going on.
It's entertaining, but also you learn lots.
Yeah, you're learning loads.
What would you say to people that are worried about, they've been on a couple of free courses before where it's just been one big sales pitch? Because of course, I'm the first to say that there will be an offer. Yeah. Because if someone came to the 2 days crash course and there was no opportunity to do further advanced training or mentoring, then I wouldn't be serving them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So of course there's going to be an opportunity for advanced training, but is it a big, massive sales pitch?
No. Seriously, right? I was at Crash Course last weekend, and we started at 9:30 in the morning, and we went on till like 6:30, all talking about what we're doing, all talking about finding deals, doing deals, ringing estate agents, everything, content. And then yes, Samuel has a small offer to make. It's not forced upon you. It's not driven down your throat. It's a small offer. If you want to do it, that's great. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Yeah. But you've got 12, like we're in the room for 12 hours. Yeah. A lot of it is all about content, and then
98% content and value, and then 2% making an offer.
And to be honest, it's a free event. It's completely free to attend, apart from the booking fee, unless you upgrade to VIP. But for a free event, it's phenomenal value. Phenomenal. Yeah. I think that I wouldn't begrudge paying £200-300 to come to that event because of what you learn on that event. Yeah. Some people say that they've spent 10-15 grand on training and they've learnt more on the 2 days at the crash course. Honestly, I was speaking to a guy who spent, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but he told me he spent £14,000 on the training event. and he told me, he messaged me on Facebook after the last month's crash course and said he learnt more on 2 days of the crash course than he did in this £14,000 event.
There's always good and bad in every industry.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, some of the bad people, some of the bad trainers, some of the bad sourcers who aren't compliant or who are don't deliver good value. They just want to grab your money and run.
Yeah.
They end up giving other people in the industry a bad name. But I personally think that I get so much satisfaction from teaching.
Yeah.
Just from seeing people like yourself, because you're not the only, there's many people like yourself, right?
Yeah, it's not just me.
There's a lot.
There's lots. We're in a room, we're doing this interview, but we're actually at an event at the minute, and there's multiple people in the room that
about
are all
40.
doing deals. There's loads.
Yeah.
They're all doing deals. They're all getting on their way on their property
People doing
journey.
lease option agreements, like Chris has just secured a big lease option agreement that's going to be giving him £1,200 profit a month.
Yeah.
There's too many to even mention.
There's loads, absolutely loads.
What do you think about? I know you're quite passionate. You get quite upset with some of these really bad sources going around, and these just people giving the industry a bad name. What would you say to them?
My
if
biggest bugbear is when I open Facebook in the mornings or whenever I look at Facebook, and all you see is all these people advertising deals that are just not deals. I've seen one today where it's a lease option. The guy wants a £5,000 finder's fee to make positive cash flow of £180 a month. That's not a deal. To me, that sucks.
Yeah.
Who would buy that?
You need to be getting at least a 100% return on investment when buying a lease option agreement.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you're making £200 a month, you shouldn't really be spending more than about £2,000 for the deal.
Yeah, for the finder's fee. But this property wanted a 5k finder's fee, 4.5k refurb. You're talking 10k to make 100.
Why not just buy a little buy-to-let house?
Absolutely. But that's my biggest bugbear is people that have read a book about property sourcing. They've not got compliant. They're literally just winging it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like any industry. You're always going to have your good and your bad. The good will always come to the top anyway. But the bad ones do sort of give all the good ones a bit of a harder time because
if they're listening, those people that do that, I would say good for you for trying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just get yourself educated.
Yeah.
Go on some training. Talk to people that are doing it properly and do it properly.
The thing is, I do get contacted by sources that aren't compliant, wanting me to sell their deals for them, and I won't do it because I've taken the time and effort to get educated. I've spent a lot of money to get educated, and I'm compliant.
And that's why you have investors queuing up.
That's why I'm getting, at the minute, between 8 and 12 investors per day coming on board. And I'm not talking about investors that have got no money to spend. I'm talking about investors like one that come on this morning has got £400,000 to spend.
Pre-qualified,
400k in the bank to spend. And I've seen proof of funding.
Yeah.
So I know he's a serious investor.
What did you think? Because you know that I only do business with my advanced students.
Yes.
Because I get people... I probably get 100 emails a day from people, asking me questions or saying, can we do this? Can we do this? Can you sell this deal? Or can you mentor me? I'm only going to do business with people that I'm actually working with that have paid for training.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
What did you think when I offered you a business opportunity where we could set up a business together within Better Sourced?
My initial thoughts were, why me? Honestly, why me? I thought, why out of... There's a few academy members, I think, why me? Why did you choose me to do the business with? Obviously, I was like, absolutely, I'm going to do it. There was no question I was going to do it because for me, I'd rather be a business partner with like yourself than try and do it on my own.
Yeah.
It's much, I put a lot of effort in, I put a lot of work in, but it's made that a little bit easier because I'm involved with yourself.
Yeah.
Your connections are phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean, it's a great opportunity. I was never going to turn it down. But yeah, my initial thought was, why did you choose me over everyone else?
Because we do business with a lot of people on the academy in
Yeah.
different ways, shapes and forms, and different people want different things.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I usually say to people that are doing well on the academy, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? And then they'll, like Stuart said, I want to speak in front of 100 people in Africa who are budding entrepreneurs. I'm like, done.
Yeah.
Leslie said, I want to get myself in the papers and raise my brand. I want to be a best-selling author. I'm like, done. Making it happen. So that's kind of how I roll. What would you say to someone who was considering going on your list to get deals? In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll answer that question.
Go on.
I would say to somebody that was thinking about going on your list, how do you sign up to your list?
So if you go onto my website, which is www.bettersourcedltd.co.uk.
Okay, we'll put a link in the description.
Okay, that's cool.
I think you are probably the best deal sourcer in the country.
Wow.
Your integrity, your word is your bond. when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Yeah. You only pass deals on that I know you would buy yourself.
Yeah, I would never knowingly pass a deal that is
no. And if you do mess
up,
you put it right.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a case.
And you don't mess up much, but I've seen twice where you've sold a deal, then there was an issue which you unforeseen circumstances, the naked eye couldn't spot.
There was an issue with the survey.
Yeah, and then you've just boom, put it right.
Yeah, so in that case, we had an issue with the survey. The property come back as having issue with the joists. I can't tell that when we view it because we're not allowed to lift floorboards. So what we done was we spoke to the investor. The investor's a serious investor, so he knows these things happen. I explained to him, look, you can either have a full refund or we can find you another property. What do you want to do? And in this case, he said, Alasdair, he goes, just keep the money. He goes, when you get another suitable property, let me know and we'll go from there. So what I've done with this guy is he's now top of my list. Any property we get come along, he gets first refusal on it.
Yeah.
And I'll work with him now until he's completely happy. And if 6 months pass and he's not found a property, I'll give him his refund because he's given me time. If I can't fulfill that in 6 months, I've failed him.
Yeah.
So I'm a man of my word.
And I know as well because I see obviously the bank when you take a fee, you know. You don't spend it. It sits in a holdings account until the house gets completed, which is the right way to do it. So I would say if someone's thinking of doing it, you've got absolutely nothing to lose. It doesn't even, at the moment, it doesn't cost it to be on your list, but it probably will.
At the moment, it's free. I am getting asked by a lot of investors how they can get access before everyone else because the deals sell very quickly.
So I would say if you're listening to this and you're an investor and you're wanting to get someone to do all the hard work for you, get down to bettersourcelimited.co.uk, get on the list. If you're wanting to find your own deals, I think they need to come to the crash course.
Yeah, 100%.
With an open mind, ready to, do everything that's said.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What's it like working with me?
It's a blast. No days the same. Every day is different. Every crash course is different.
Yeah.
Everything. I meet up with you a lot. We spend time together because we're business partners and we're doing well. We're doing business together and I'm doing really well. So we have opportunities and things like that. It's just awesome.
Yeah. How do I operate in business with the Academy members?
With you, it's very much if you move one. So like me, I've gone out and I've done deals and I move one, you move 10.
Yeah.
I give you one thing and you're like, great, what now? What do you want to do?
Absolutely.
And then you're like, bam, just do this.
I had a guy actually called Keegan Law, and he phoned me up. No, he didn't phone me. He dropped me he wasn't an advanced student. He just came on the crash course. He dropped me a Facebook message. I happened to see it, and he said, "Hey, I've just got a property that's completed today, and I found it on the crash course. I'm going to go and pick up the keys. Want to come?"
Oh, awesome.
And I just thought, you know what? I would never normally do that, but because he's a young guy, he's made so much commitment. He's got a property from the crash course. He's reached out to me. I just responded, sure, what time? Went out, picked up the keys with him. In fact, if you want to watch that video, it will come up on the thing just right now above my head. You can click it and you can watch that video of him and the property. But that's fantastic. So what would your final words of encouragement or advice be to anybody listening or watching?
My advice, listen, don't let your little voices and your negativity ruin you because that's what happened to me. I spent 7 years listening to my negativity tell me that I'm not good for this. I'm not deserving of success. Just freaking do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't care what your friends think. Don't care what your family think. Obviously, don't upset them, but just do it.
I think you should upset them.
This is your life. It's not their life.
Yeah.
You've just got to do whatever you've got to do to get what you want to achieve. So for me, I've always wanted to be in property. So last year, I met Samuel via watching him on TV and reading his book, and I was like, that guy is 27 years old, or 26 at the time. I'm like, I'm 35. He's 10 years my junior, and it's like he's so much more. What the hell is going on? He's so much more successful than me. So I just had to find him, and I had to meet him, and I had to learn what he's doing. Yeah. And I'm a great believer in copy the rich guy. Don't listen to your mates down the pub. They're not the successful ones. Listen to the people that are doing it and actually making money from it. Yeah, people make excuses sometimes as well. That's great, by the way. Like they'll see a review somewhere of someone saying, "Oh, I didn't like the crash course very much," and they'll think, "Oh, okay," and then they'll have that as a reason why not to go. Yeah. Because one person out of 500 people said that, but that's probably the one person who's broke. Yeah. Who
is actually blaming the crash course on their lack of results. Because rather than saying, oh, you know what, crash course was great, but I didn't do anything because I'm lazy and my mindset is broke and I'm a bum, so that's why I'm not successful. They'd rather say, I'm not successful because the crash course didn't go through in enough detail or whatever. So they'll always blame rather than actually take responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what business you're in. You're always going to have people you love, or people that love you and people that don't like you. It doesn't matter what business you're in. Now, all I would say to people that are reading reviews, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of great reviews. Just because there's one or two that didn't particularly like the crash course or didn't particularly like Samuel, does that really matter? All I would say is read them all with an open mind. And do you know what? You cannot keep everyone happy. Samuel says for every 100 people he's helped, there's always one he's not, or one he's upset. Is that right?
I say for every one hater, you've helped 100.
Something, okay. I was nearly right.
Yeah, almost.
But my point being is, listen, if you're going to read reviews, read them. But don't just listen to the negative ones. Listen to all of them. Read all of them. And there's far more good than there is bad.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because no one's success is down to me.
No.
All I can do is give the toolbox,
Yeah.
give the instruction manual. That's it.
Yeah.
So no one's success is down to me. Your success is because of you.
Thank
In
you.
fact, there was someone on the crash course or one of the training programs in the early days who was sat next to you on the same program. Where's she now? Nowhere.
Yeah.
And
that's very true. Very true.
And now you're killing it. She was on the same program, sat next to you. Now she's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So it's down to you. I gave you the toolbox. I gave you the instruction manual and cheered you on, but you did it. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
No, that's 100% true. Like you said, it's very true. You've given us a toolbox. It's up to us what we choose to do with that.
Yeah.
I've choose to make it work.
Yeah.
I've gone on and used them tools effectively, and I'm doing deals left, right, and centre. Other people take them toolboxes and just leave them in the garage.
Yeah.
That's up to them.
Also, the way I am, I worked out a long time ago that some people are going to like you just because, and other people won't like you because of the colour of your t-shirt or the colour of your skin. You know, so whatever, no matter how you are, there's going to be some people that like you, some people that don't. So you may as well just do whatever you want, be completely honest, be completely real, and be you. And then some people will like you, and some people won't. So when I'm training, you've seen firsthand, sometimes I can be quite direct.
Yeah, but I like that. I think that's a nice
I tell people as it is. If someone starts coming up with excuses, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
Or if someone says, I did this program and it didn't work, and then I did this program and it didn't work, and then this person ripped me off, and then this happened, and then I got a divorce, and then I got 3 divorces, and then this happened, I'll say, and they'll use that as an excuse, and I'll say, there's a common denominator in this problem, and it's you. So what can we do to change this pattern? And because the same wind blows on us all, it's the setting of the sail that determines the destination.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'll be quite direct, and some people don't like that.
No, I like your directness because there's too many people that will sort of beat around the bush.
Yeah.
They won't come out and say what they want. And all that does is delay things. I would rather you be direct to me. It's like when I done my first introduction of you.
Yeah.
You were very direct. Also, it sucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, great, thank you very much. Now I know how I can make it better.
But then I told you how it could be better.
Yeah, so you didn't just say, Alasdair, it sucks and make me feel tiny. You said, Alasdair, it sucks. And once you pulled yourself up off the floor from laughing so much, I realised that it was it was great.
I said it was bad. I told you what is bad. I told you what to do.
Yeah.
And then we made it better.
Yeah.
So that's great. I'm really honoured to be a friend of yours.
You too, man.
I'm really excited to see your future, and I'm really glad to be part of your journey. So thanks for coming on the show. And
cheers, man. Thank you.
I'll see you
for having me.
I'll see you in Africa next week.
And then Monday, yeah.
And tomorrow.
Yeah.
Basically all the time because you're an academy member.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, get down to the crash course, book yourself on now. Spaces are so limited. They always sell out. Usually, I think right now there's like a 2 or 3 month waiting list as I'm speaking right now. So get yourself booked on. Go to www.property-investors.co.uk, a link right below, and I'll look forward to working with you, spending 2 days together and helping you do what Alasdair's done. Thank you so much for watching. If you benefited from that video, please do share it with your family and friends. For more videos like it, you can watch right here. And if you'd like to spend 2 days with me at the Property Investors Crash Course, watch this video, see what happens. But whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe right here, and I'll see you next time.